Over the course of 2024, Payday 3 has amassed an arsenal of 10 pistols, 6 SMGs, 8 rifles, 1 LMG, 6 shotguns, 1 sniper rifle, 3 overkill weapons, 5 throwables, 4 tools, and 4 deployables. With that number basically doubled when you count how many weapon presets there are for each gun. You know whose videos I'm parroting here. This is going to be a little series looking at the common stereotypes that you see in games for people who use these guns. Quick disclaimer, some guns, depending on what parts they have, become different guns, so for those, I'm going to be covering them in another video. And of course, not every stereotype is 100% true. This is just what I've seen. Also, at any given point, I may flip-flop around from using the in-game name to the real-world name. But for now, we're starting with the rifles. So let's go. There are two types of players who use the CAR-4. The players who just started playing and haven't unlocked any other primaries, and the high-level players who use it for its reliability and just because it's the game's AR. I can't really say anything else that's really bad about it. Before the cutting shot nerf, it used to be a really good pick for a high armor pierce gun that wasn't the SCAR or the Mark 14. But when cutting shot got nerfed, people ditched this thing the second they got something better. But ever since the Fear and Greed update, buffing all the gun's ammo pickup, the CAR-4 actually has become a very reliable weapon when it comes to ammo and consistent damage, and you'll see it used at all levels of play. It's still going to be seen as just a noob gun though. The SA-A114 is a tricky gun to make a stereotype on. The people who use this are either headshot gods who die on using the meta, or Payday veterans trying to relive some glory days of using the M14 in Payday the Heist. This gun used to be an absolute monster at launch, with cutting shot and precision shot. Combine that with its ability to reach one-shot headshots with just edge, and you had a really powerful setup on your hands. But of course, that was never going to last, and cutting and precision shot were nerfed out of their meta positions. It still can one-shot headshot with edge, but as it stands right now, it's just another gun that can do that.
This one is used by new players who just really don't want to use the AR or the AK, because on paper, that's what it should be, but in practice, it just falls flat. I mean, it's not bad per se, but it lacks real damage to be as good as the AK, and it has lower armor penetration than the CAR-4. Setting the bar at the lowest armor penetration of all the rifles and the damage drop-off is so immense that you might as well be slinging Twitter insults at the police, because that would have more damage over distance. Most of the time, people who take this thing are usually below level 70, and just like it for being unique, or haven't unlocked the AK. Speaking of which...
The KU is another gun that you'll see at pretty much every level of play. It manages to be used by complete mindless infants who just started their YouTube channel 20 minutes ago, and complete heisting legends who are able to down dozers in one mag and revive the whole team with the other. But that is to say that it depends entirely on the player. Objectively, this thing is just an inverse of everything the CAR-4 is good at, and bad at. CAR is good at range, AK is better up close. AK has more damage, CAR has more armor penetration. CAR barely recoils, AK kicks like a mule. You can't really talk about one without the other. They're meant to function almost identically and complement each other while they're doing it. But at the end of the day, it's all up to personal taste on which one you think is better. The Reinfield is a hard one to stereotype because, as of recording, it's the only real sniper rifle in the game. I mean, you do sometimes see people using it, but those are few and far between, because Payday 3 maps don't really give you a lot of opportunities to use it the way you'd expect to use a sniper rifle. Not to mention, it doesn't have the same utility that sniper rifles had in Payday 2 with the grayscale. I mean, you do have multi-target pierce at default, which is nice, but given the amount of cops that spawn on overkill, it's not the best choice. But it is fun to use when you just want to sit back and click on heads. And then a cloaker. If you played with this thing at launch, you were a meta hog, and there's no way around it. The SCAR at launch was the best gun in the game with no real drawbacks. High damage, high armor penetration, and 20 rounds of default compared to the Mark 14's 10. But, just like the Mark 14, nerfs to cutting and precision shot hit this thing too. It's not bad as of today, not bad at all. It still has the highest armor penetration out of all the rifles, but kicks the hardest to compensate. It still easily can one-shot headshot with edge, and can fit pretty well into an automatic hipfire and controlled burst playstyle. You mostly see people who use this nowadays either have it set up for max damage, or as part of their assassin build. The FIC-22 is another gun that you really don't see used, like at all. I get what Starbreeze was trying to do, make a gun that relies on headshots, but in return shooting anything that's not the head is the equivalent of shooting grains of rice. Its whole gimmick is that you can rapid fire this thing and still hit one-shot headshots. At least you could with old Cutting Shot! It's amazing in retrospect to see how many guns were made viable with Cutting Shot, and without it, how meh they really are. This one, on the other hand, is just not fun to use. It fails at being a good quote-unquote marksman's rifle by not being able to one-shot headshot with edge at distance, and it fails at being a regular rifle by it having such low damage and armor penetration. This thing just falls into the uncanny valley that the Northwest falls into.
The G3 as of recording is the go-to meta gun. It has great recoil, great gun kick, and most importantly, can hit one-shot headshots with just edge. Sure, it only has 20 rounds at default, but with the way you play with it, it just becomes an easier to use SCAR. If you're a player that uses this, I can guarantee 3 things about you. 1, you like to dispatch enemies quickly. 2, you're disappointed with the other guns for either not being able to headshot or being too cumbersome to use. And 3, you have the DLC, Lamau. But yeah, there's nothing else really to say about the G3. There's not really a stereotype that goes with it, so you got me. Walter White.
I've been pretty fair about all the other guns I've talked about so far, but here is where I draw the line in the sand. I can't fucking stand this thing, and I have tried so hard to like it, but it's so fucking bad. I mean it. I've tried to put this thing in health builds, assassin builds, hipfire builds, fucking armor builds, but it just can't kill anything. It's tied with the AK for lowest armor penetration, but that doesn't matter when the AK actually has the damage per bullet to kill things when you shoot them. And I see people use this thing in pubs all the time, and I'm just sitting there thinking, how are you enjoying this? It's a half step up from using the Northwest B9. Ugh. But, at the end of the day, if people have the want to use a 3-round burst rifle, that's what it's there for. And that's all the rifles that are in Payday 3 as of recording. Of course, there will be more added over the game's lifespan, so maybe after some time I can come back and update it to include new additions. But that's where we are as of now. Now, real quick, if you stuck around to the end, I just want to make a few little announcements for my channel. First off, I just want to say to my subs that I'm very sorry that I haven't been uploading. I've been really busy with college, and I haven't had the time to sit down and make videos, which is something I'm working on fixing. But I have a Twitch channel now, where I plan on streaming more frequently, and it's a place where me and my friends hang out and play a variety of games, so check that out if you want to see me live. Ah! What the fuck? Also, I finally made another post on my Instagram, where I've been showing a few pics of some cosplays me and my friends did of the Payday 3 gang, so check that out there, and let me know if you're interested in more IRL content. And if you want, you can follow me on Twitter, where I'm trying to post more regularly there too. But, with all that said, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and a comment. I read every comment and I enjoy them, and it helps me out in the algorithm. If you like what you saw, feel free to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on new videos. All my social links are down in the description and on my channel page. Of course, credit to SoundSmith for his original series that I was inspired by. You can find a link to his channel and the original Stereotypes series in the description below. But that's all I got for this video. See you guys.